Hello, my name is Dr. Appel from Ado Psychology Center, where we specialize in treating anxiety, depression, and OCD. Welcome to our video seminar series. Hope you enjoy this video. This video is on stress and burnout. The goals for this video are to understand stress and burnout and what to do about it. So let's define stress. Stress occurs when your demands are greater than your resources. It's as simple as that. So if you have a lot of things you have to get done, and you don't have a lot of resources, right? Especially if you're not sleeping well or you don't have enough time, then you're going to feel stressed. This is different than anxiety, in that anxiety is a feeling you have when you feel like there may be an upcoming threat that you can't handle, that you can't deal with. That's different than what we're talking about here with stress. Treatment implications for this distinction here between stress and anxiety is that when it comes to anxiety, many times it's about thinking about your situation differently so you don't feel as threatened through cognitive therapy, for example, or exposing yourself to your situation again, to a feared situation again and again, so that you become less afraid of the situation. Whereas when it comes to stress, that can't be the treatment because there's actually more demands than you have resources for. So it's important to make this distinction between stress and anxiety, and of course, it has treatment implications. So when it comes to stress, there are two options: decrease demands or increase resources. So now we're going to talk more about these two options as to what exactly they look like in real life. Let's begin with decreasing demands. Decreasing demands is very much what it sounds like, just taking on less tasks, working less hours, or spending less time with your kids. Whatever the demands are that are too much for you, you just have to decrease them. I once heard someone describing this kind of as juggling balls, where in life we're constantly juggling balls, and instead of dropping balls because it's just too much, which is what happens when you're stressed, you want to intentionally place down a ball so that you can pick up another one. So if you want to spend more time at work and less time with your kids, instead of dropping the ball on your kids, intentionally say, okay, I plan to spend less time because I want to spend more time with this, and vice versa. If you want to spend more time with your kids and less at work, so don't be dropping balls at work, but instead intentionally place some balls down. And it really helps with your self-esteem and with your outlook in life when instead of driving yourself to the point of like being extremely stressed and then feeling like you're failing at everything, think about your situation, intentionally put something down so you can pick something else up. So that's option number one, decreasing demands. Option number two is increasing resources. So maybe at your job, you have to get another assistant or you have to get a colleague because you have to increase your resources here. Or you have to get at home babysitting help, or maybe your partner can help more when it comes to helping with the children. So increasing resources is another option, obviously. So this is all really straightforward and really simple, but when people feel stressed, they often feel like, I don't know what to do. And really, there's just two things you could do: decrease demands or increase resources. And thinking about it in this way hopefully can provide you with some clarity as to identifying stress, defining what it is when your demands outweigh your resources, and then realizing you really only have two options if you want to feel less stressed. Burnout refers to a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion. So I think the image here really shows it, right? You can't go on like this. And so yes, it's related to stress, but it's not only related to stress. Let's talk more about that now. So first of all, burnout is often accompanied by feelings of cynicism, detachment, sense of reduced personal accomplishment. So you're at your job, you're noticing that your cynicism is definitely out there. You're feeling detached from your job. You don't really feel accomplished at what you're doing. And it results from prolonged exposure to chronic stressors at work and at home, like I mentioned before. So definitely when you're feeling really stressed, eventually you get burnt out. And it can affect various aspects of your life, where it can affect your mental and physical well-being. It can affect relationships, and it can affect your overall quality of life to the point where you feel like, what's the point of this? Like, I just can't go on like this and do nothing. So it's different than depression in the sense that in depression, again, similar to anxiety when it comes to stress, you are, thinking in a way that like life is hopeless, isn't that? But your actual situations are not necessarily matching up with it. By burnout, your situation really is pretty bad. And so of course you feel burnt out. And that's how it's different than depression, like I just explained. So what are some solutions for burnout? Well, one solution is reducing stress. As I mentioned before, you could decrease demands or increase resources. Burnout, another solution can be creating boundaries. Maybe at work, they're asking you to do too much. So it's a way of decreasing demands, but it's like setting up, thinking about what boundaries you need to set up and setting them in place so that you don't feel burnt out. Or maybe it's, not working on your lunch hour and stuff like that. Time management is also real important when it comes to burnout. If you're not managing your time well, then you may feel more stressed and burnt out. So learning how to manage your time better can be really helpful. And I plan to be doing a video on school stress and anxiety where I'll talk more about time management. Self-care can be really important. So yes, maybe you're stressed at work, but if you're engaging in self-care the rest at other points, throughout the day, at work or at home, then overall you feel less burnt out. Reconnecting with the meaningfulness of your job, for example, or if you work at home, if you're feeling burnt out from that, and values, because you're putting so much work into this. If you don't feel like it's meaningful anymore, and you don't see how it's in line with your values, it's going to feel like you're going to feel more burnt out than if you're like really excited about your job and you feel like it's in line with your values. It's the life you want to live, and there's a lot of meaning in it. So reconnecting with meaningfulness and values can be very helpful when it comes to burnout as well. Schedule breaks daily, weekly, yearly, right? Like throughout the day, you can have a bunch of breaks. Throughout the week, you can go on vacation. So all this is really important and goes really into self-care when it comes to dealing with burnout. So in short, stress is defined as when your demands are greater than your resources. You have two options: decrease demands or increase resources. It's different than anxiety in the sense that the actual situation here is causing you the stress, whereas anxiety, it's more about the way you're thinking about it many times. And burnout, we mentioned also, is related to stress in some ways, also related to like feeling disconnected from your job or from your work at home. And it's different than depression again because the real life situations over here are burning you out. And so you have to make actual change in your life situation, not just in the way you're thinking or other therapeutic skills that we would use for depression. And so some solutions are for burnout are decreasing the stress, reconnecting with values, scheduling breaks, and ultimately a therapist can help you tailor treatment for your specific needs. Hope you enjoyed this video seminar. To see a full list of our current videos as well as upcoming videos that we'll be posting soon, visit us at adopsychologycenter.com and sign up to be notified when we post new videos. Bye for now.